I'm in ancient Philadelphia in Turkey, and today I want to talk to you about patient endurance. This is the endurance that the early church went through. Do you have patient endurance? It is difficult to be patient, especially for a length of time. Perhaps we have something to learn from this first century church of Philadelphia. Philadelphia was a Roman city located roughly 30 miles southeast of ancient Sardis in a small region known as the Burnt Lands because of the high volume of seismic activity. We do not know a lot about the founding of the Christian community in this city. It seems Paul did not visit this place during his missionary journey, so we do not find Philadelphia mentioned in the book of Acts. However, we do find this location mentioned in Revelation 3 as one of the 7 churches to receive letters from John of Patmos. Though there is no previous mention of the first century church of Philadelphia, because of the letter written to the church in this city in the book of Revelation, we know it existed and was one of the strongest churches in Asia Minor. This church endured brutal hardships. In John's letter to the church in Revelation, he mentioned their perseverance in refusing to deny the name of Christ even while persecuted. They received strong praise based on the reality of what they had suffered. Historically, it is known that only a few years after the book of Revelation was written, one of the apostolic fathers, Ignatius, the bishop of Antioch, was brought through Philadelphia on his way to be martyred in Rome. Apostolic Fathers was a title given to designate leaders of the early church as those who followed directly after the apostles. Only a few decades later, in AD 155, another apostolic father, Polycarp, the bishop of Smyrna, was martyred by burning at the stake alongside 11 members of the church in Philadelphia. Although these events took place after John wrote Revelation, they confirm the validity of his words based on these actual events. The letter to this church also mentioned challenges that the church was having with members of the synagogue of Satan. These were most likely a group of individuals in a local synagogue who persecuted the believers of Philadelphia. This was not a representation of all Jews of the time period, or even in Philadelphia, many of whom continued in the faith of the one true God and in the spread of the gospel. It is clear in the book of Revelation that this church had little power. They experienced persecution and yet held fast to their faith in God. Though they did not have much, they did have what the book of Revelation chapter 3 expresses as patient endurance. This is a good description of life. Patient endurance. It is a description of a person or people who endure trying circumstances yet remain diligent in their faith. How did the church in Philadelphia maintain their endurance, and how do we sustain ours today? The answer is in relationship with God. Daily communion with God strengthened the church in Philadelphia and will also strengthen us today. We can abide even in great difficulty. Though adverse events happened to this church in Philadelphia and to us today, there is a final hope in the resurrection. Be encouraged as you daily feed God's word into your spirit. You too will gain the patient endurance spoken about in the church of Philadelphia. The letter to this church ends with these verses in Revelation 3, verse 11 through 13. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown. The one who is victorious, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will they leave it. I will write on them the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God. And I will also write on them my new name. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches.